Like, it's imaginary anti-gamer bullshit. It is childish in its highest form, but this is the Elden Ring community. I swear, this is why people don't like you fuckers. A game that's not for everyone isn't a game that should be made, in my opinion.
Opening with a dramatic sigh. Somebody's feeling adventurous, aren't they?
The Elden Ring community is filled with the most toxic, most childish fanboys I have ever experienced in my entire life.
I don't know about the Elden Ring community, but they seem alright to me, but maybe you'll explain exactly what you're referring to.
You have a YouTuber by the name of Mischief. Steals my entire video with third-party illegal software.
Ah, yes, we're getting the history out of the way. We're learning all of the deep lore in the Quantum TV copyright Elden Ring drama. Oh, for those of you who are not aware, it is a fun ride. We're going to have a gay old time, you and I.
Uploads it in its entirety, basically, to YouTube. Calls it fair use. Goes through and thinks that you talking and smack talking is fair use. Let me explain what fair use is for people wondering.
You know, before we all learn what fair use really is from Quantum TV, because I guess I and everyone else on the internet have been doing it wrong this whole time, before we listen to what fair use really is, let's delve into the history of just what we're looking at here and why I'm covering Quantum TV. It all began on a dark and stormy night. Actually, I don't know what the weather was, but Quantum TV released a review of Elden Ring, the recently released video game by From Software. I wonder how they got their name. In any case, Quantum's review was really bad. Now, I haven't played Elden Ring myself. I don't have any love or hate of the game. Just not really something that I have any interest in. But in his review, even I know that he got a lot of things objectively wrong, and he also was very insulting to the people who seem to enjoy Elden Ring. If you'd like to check out some responses to his review, well, you won't have a hard time finding them. But one of particular relevance is the one I'm showing on screen now, a response by a YouTuber named Mischief. And as for the quality of Quantum's comments in his review, you know, honestly, I think he was just really upset that it wasn't an easy game and decided that the best move would be to vent his frustrations onto his channel in public. Now, unfortunately for him, that's not a very wise idea, though we will come to discover that Quantum he's many things, but sagacious is not among them. His terrible review was picked up by a number of YouTubers who responded to the video in typical, standard, everyday, basic video response format, just like the one that I'm doing right here, the format that myself and countless others, we've been using it for years. But Quantum TV, apparently, he was not very happy. No, he was not a happy lad. He was not happy that his review was getting such terribly negative coverage by some YouTubers. And so, you know what? He did what any rational, adult human being would do. He decided that he would simply ignore the videos, accept the criticism, and move on with his life as normal. Oh, you innocent little dove you. No, that's not what he did. Quantum sent messages to multiple YouTube channels and told them to change or remove their videos, or else he would issue copyright claims to take them down. Quantum TV wrote dozens of comments on the videos of other channels telling them that they were not following fair use, that they were using illegal software, that they were not allowed to use his image in their thumbnails, amongst other highly intellectual things. You and I, we're not operating at the same level he is. We just wouldn't understand it. Though, Quantum, for someone who seems so stingy and sensitive on people using your precious branding when they respond to you, at least have a bit of pride in your work and do a little more effort than slap a free download crown picture on a queue and not even have it be centered. Come on, this looks amateur. Now, years ago when I was newish to YouTube, I used downloaded doggo pictures and slapped some glasses on them. But that's when I realized it wasn't good branding. Anyone could download those images. And so I commissioned my own art, like the incredible work you're seeing here done by Zosh. He's incredibly talented, and there's a link to his Patreon in the description if you're interested in his furry degeneracy. Anyway, back to Quantum TV. Now, it was this response to criticism that put him into a bit of a spotlight for a while. Many more YouTubers heard about his attack on these smaller channels and added their own coverage and commentary to the debacle, and now, when you search Quantum TV on YouTube, what you get is not exactly, flattering for him, and there's way more than these that I just didn't bother to show. So, Quantum, when Canis Familiaris is taking a snooze, leave him alone, or you will lose. But the video here is what Quantum TV's response was to all of this happening. While the drama has for the most part died down, the Act Man has released a video on Quantum, Review Tech USA did some, Mischief has made videos on him, there's plenty you can find. But I thought that Quantum TV's video here was interesting enough to warrant a response, so we're going to delve into this one specifically. So now that you know all of the deep lore surrounding these historical events, let's go back and listen to some things now that we've got some context.
You have a YouTuber by the name of Mischief. Steals my entire video with third-party illegal software.
So, I suppose this is as good enough a time as any. Hi, Quantum. I'm Rags. I'm a dog. Now, you might have noticed that so far, I've sort of been talking generally to my audience, anybody who might watch this video and be curious about what I'm discussing here. But some of this video, maybe a lot of this video, I haven't decided yet, I just sort of make these things as I go along, will be addressed to you, Quantum. I don't think particularly highly of you, and the reasons for that, if they're not already apparent, will become all the more so as we traverse through the sludge that is your video, intermittently interesting as it may be.
Steals my entire video with third-party illegal software.
I must admit, I am legitimately impressed. I've been listening to stupid people on the internet for years now, and you've already managed to amaze me in mere moments. Firstly, nobody stole your content. If you think that somebody downloading a copy of your publicly available YouTube video for the purposes of transformative editing is theft, you're a fool. You have no concept of how the internet works, you don't understand the law, and you don't understand the principles of intellectual property. We'll delve more into that later. Secondly, and this is a first for me, third-party illegal software. I've never heard that before. This is the first time. I'm legitimately impressed that after all of these years, you've managed to find an argument so stupid it either rarely or never has seen the light of day. You stake a non-substantial amount of your argument here around the fact that your video was downloaded from the internet using software that doesn't come from YouTube itself, I guess. That it's against the law for me to download YouTube videos. There are countless videos that give you all the coolest trips and ticks on how to download videos from YouTube. Many, many, many tutorials, and Google searches are full of these results. Google and YouTube, they don't seem to care. And honestly, it would be foolish for them to try and go out and stop it en masse. The attitude that it's not acceptable for people to download videos from YouTube in order to make transformative content would cause incredible damage to a countless amount of YouTubers. You seem to be focusing on a stickler point based around a technicality that isn't even enforced, instead of focusing on the principle that allows for a healthy, critical atmosphere to exist in the YouTube space. Moving past that, though, what you say next admittedly has me a bit puzzled.
Fair use is when you use like a second of the video, 5 seconds of the video, or vastly less than what the full duration of the original video was.
You think that fair use is using only 1 or 5 seconds of something. Interesting. I don't think I've heard this really stupid opinion before. I'm not sure, maybe. Point being, you started off by saying that the problem was that he used third-party illegal downloading software. Now you're saying that it's okay to use 1 or 5 seconds, and that's okay for fair use. How do you expect for someone to get that 1 to 5 seconds? Do you expect people to record their computer screens with their phone? I mean, in theory, what you're saying means that there is a legitimate way for someone to obtain this 1 to 5 seconds of footage, and I don't know if you expect people to record their computer screens with their phones, or I don't know, I have no clue. Maybe you think that somebody can retroactively have their illegal download become not illegal as long as the segments that they use are chopped up into 1 to 5 second long segments. I have no clue how your world works with how you think fair use is. I tell you what, you think about that, give it some time, sleep on it, and then get back to me when you have an answer. Actually, no, don't talk to me.
He didn't do that.
Correct, and neither shall I.
And then when you're using majority of somebody's video and you're letting the vast majority play unedited, that's not fair use. You're not really, you can make your point of criticism without letting pretty much the entire video play, and that was my gripe.
Let's tackle these points one at a time.
When you're using majority of somebody's video and you're letting the vast majority play unedited, that's not fair use.
The longest single segment of your video in Mischief's response to you was 24 seconds. Only 24 seconds. What if it takes you longer than 5 seconds in order to make a full point? What if he doesn't want to cut your idea in half? What if he wants to let you finish? What if I'm reviewing a movie and I need more than 5 seconds to play a bit of context from some dialogue or some event or a visual? In your happy, magical world, am I just screwed? Can I not do that? Is that not allowed? Am I going to have to compromise on the integrity of my creative vision and damage the message that I can give to the viewer by, just giving up? I'm getting a sneaking suspicion, Quantum, that before you said all these things, you didn't think for a nanosecond about them or their implications. Well, maybe they're implications to you, personally, in this one scenario, and that's when your brain stopped functioning. Now, as far as Mischief's case is concerned, because the rules of fair use are not always strict, you have absolutely no ground to say that fair use is not a defense here. You have every right to use the majority of somebody's video as long as it's transformative. When you say, and you're letting the vast majority play unedited, you need to understand if all I do is cut your video into segments where I respond in between, that's all the editing necessary. That's all I'm going to do in this video. This is the standard method of the response video format, and it has been for many years. Maybe you should familiarize yourself a bit more with YouTube before you start giving YouTube advice to other people.
You can make your point of criticism without letting pretty much the entire video play, and that was my gripe.
How the video maker decides to make their criticism is up to them. It is not up to you. Just because it is possible for somebody to make a response to you without using your footage does not mean it must be done that way. And I certainly don't want to live in a world where a response video cannot have the video being responded to contained within. It would be much easier for the responder to take the source material out of context, or to misrepresent it, or maybe they would simply misremember it. And it would rely on the viewer of that video having to be much more familiar with the original material before seeing the response.
So I introduced this concept to this kid.
Important to note, he's the kid physically, sure, but you're the kid mentally. There is only one person acting childish here, and it is not Mischief.
And I tell him, listen, hey man, you just stole my video off of my platform.
Quantum, you really shouldn't lie to kids.
Because he's not a YouTube premium member.
That doesn't matter. Why would you, he's not Peruvian. What does that have to do with this?
And of course, if hit with a piracy lawsuit, I guarantee you, when they ask him, hey, how'd you get this footage? You know what he would say?
No.
Stole it.
No, he wouldn't. That's stupid. Just... What are you doing? What's going on here? What are you doing?
Because that's what these gamers do. They use this stupid website shit.
These gamers with their websites. Oh, when will it end? When will the madness end?
They rip videos down off of YouTube, they smack talk and smear somebody's reputation that they don't like for the moment, and move on to the next person.
Which is fine if it's warranted. I have no issue with that. I've done it to people in the past. I will do it to people in the future. Some people, it's not about smearing their reputation. It's about saying, hey, this person has terrible opinions. Let's talk about it. Because Here's what you are to me, Quantum. I don't know you personally, though I know a lot about you at this point. You're just another dime a dozen loser on YouTube. You're a foul bully who needs to be exposed for what they are. I don't know Mischief. I don't know the other people that you've done this to, and I don't need to. Because I was in their position one time. I had 500 subs. I had 5,000 subs. I was a little guy, and I remember the first time that somebody gave me a copyright strike fraudulently, and I panicked, and I didn't know what to do, and it was rough on me because it was a new experience. It's not okay to do that to people, especially people who are having a rough time as it is, trying to make something out of this as a job. It's a side hobby that hopefully can get bigger and bigger, and with all the content ID stuff and the YouTube blah 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 and the rules and da-da-da, it's hard enough as it is, and you don't need to pile it on.
You know who's also big for doing this? Griffin Gaming.
All right, who's that?
There's so many gamers that do this toxic shit where they find somebody they want to bully.
Yeah, I agree. You found Mischief, yes.
And they think this shit works. It doesn't work, people.
Yeah, you're right. This shit doesn't work. You thought it did. You thought it would. I mean, as of this recording, Mischief is like 3 times the size he was before you threatened him. Your brand and your image, your channel is tarnished forever by these terrible things that you've been doing, this awful attitude that you've been exuding to others. This is legitimately one of the biggest backfires and self-owns that I've seen in a while on YouTube.
I'm not yielding. I'm not backing down. I'm annoyed.
No, we know you're not backing down. You continue to make videos about this, each one somehow finding a way to make you look worse and worse and worse the more information you try to give. I don't think you'll ever let this go. Months from now, you're going to hold on to this bitterness in your heart because you fucked up royally and you're upset that everyone found out. And you will never let that go. I know your type. I've seen it before. I mean, while I was making this video, kind of wrapping it up, putting my finishing touches on things, what should I learn? I learned that you tried to do a copyright takedown on Actman's video that featured you prominently. Your lack of understanding in law and your inability to let things go is going to get your channel destroyed, right? And it will be all of your fault, and it will be fun to watch.
Because all of this shit, because I told you Elden Ring needs an easier mode.
I'm no psychologist, right? But I know when someone's an idiot when I see them. Someone refuses to understand what the point of origin is, the patient zero of opinions for all of this drama, if you will. You made a really bad Elden Ring review. It was hot shit, okay? Everyone makes bad videos, except for me. All mine are great. But everyone makes bad videos. You need to take your licking and move on. Because the more you struggle, the more attention you get. And it's not the good kind of attention. If you would have done nothing after people made their videos on you, then Mischief and everyone, no one would have known. These are very small YouTube channels. They have small audiences. Nobody would have known, right? Nobody would have known. And then you had to do the copyright threats, and you had to make these videos and more responses, and you had to keep on digging. You kept on digging. And then you think this is all about an Elden Ring video. It's not. It's because of your bullying of YouTube channels. And people like me are going to come to their defense, because we don't like that shit. Toxic enough as it is on the internet, we don't need you adding to the sludge pile.
To allow players who were brought in off of the 5-star reviews, 10 out of 10, all the hype, that don't know what this game is about. It needs an easier mode for those newcomers to enjoy the game.
There's 2 main aspects of Quantum TV's commentary here that are worthy of note. The first is that he thinks an easy mode allows people to enjoy the game where they otherwise wouldn't. This is, in essence, an appeal for games to have an extremely low barrier to entry in terms of the challenges that they present. It's unintentionally insulting to gamers, this attitude of his, that gamers are not seeking challenges. They're not seeking worthwhile obstacles to overcome and to defeat. They're just looking for easy tasks to complete so that they feel better about themselves. Is it projection? Perhaps. The second part of this is the implication that gamers who buy Elden Ring have been, essentially, tricked. Tricked by its overwhelmingly positive reception, pretty much across the board. Again, unintentionally insulting to a consumer to not be able to look into what a game is before they buy it. Dark Souls and their parallel games like Sekiro and Elden Ring are known primarily for being challenging games. It is among the most well-known attributes in all of what I'd call serious gaming spheres. These games have a reputation years and years in the making. But even if they didn't, let's see what a consumer might find if they did a casual examination of this game to see if it was right for them. Let's stay here on YouTube for this first one. If you look for Elden Ring reviews, you'll be absolutely inundated by all kinds of YouTubers with all kinds of different reviews, and there's more reviews here than you're ever going to watch. If you go to Metacritic, you can find the versions of the game that are on all systems, be it PC or PS5 or Xbox, whatever letter they're on now, and you could see what all of the people and all of the critics say. It's an aggregation of all these reviews. I mean, I'm a PC gamer. I would go to Steam and I would look at the ratings there, and I would look at all the reviews, and I could filter them positive, negative, any which way till Tuesday. There's not an excuse. But when I was making this video, I did a little bit of looking around. Actually, at your request, we'll get into that later. In your Elden Ring reviews, of which you did multiple parts through multiple videos, which you have now deleted from the internet, I might add, you say this.
And now I'll say this. I was brought into Elden Ring off of the hype train from the 5-star reviews, the Metacritic scores, all that stuff.
You are talking about yourself here. I don't think you have any desire whatsoever to protect the gamers or anything like that. You're upset that you made a really bad and misinformed buying decision off of hype for a video game. Like you're a gosh darn 12-year-old. You are so ass mad about this that you bought a game based on a hype when you didn't do your research and you didn't look into it in any way, apparently. You're trying to pass that off as the game's fault because you don't want to take responsibility for your own poorly made purchasing decision.
And this is how you respond? You steal videos and you lie through your fucking teeth. This guy is going around to every YouTuber he can fucking find he's saying I'm violating YouTube's terms of service and he's bullying me. He's playing the fucking victim.
Nobody stole your video. And he has every reason to go and seek the help of other YouTubers when he has been bullied by you. You are laboring under a horrific misunderstanding of what fair use is to the point that you think no one can take your footage and use it to respond to you in a way that's been done for years and is the standard format for response videos. You claim that he's lying. I would love to know what that lie is.
Let me put this on the screen for every motherfucker right now that needs to see this shit. This little turd literally pulled his own video. It wasn't even a strike.
You think the only reason that someone pulls down a video is after it gets a strike? He's a small YouTuber who was told by a YouTuber many times his size, at least in terms of sub count, that the copyright system would be used against him if he didn't take that video down. You bullied him, essentially strong-arming him into do that with the threat that you'd abuse the terms of service. He took down the video because he couldn't be arsed to deal with it at the time and that he would take care of it later. And he did. The video is live and on his channel. I'll put a link in the description. It's got a little bit of context in front of it, and then it has the full video in its original form. He didn't change a goddamn thing to make you happy, and he was correct in that decision. People should stand up to bullies. They should never capitulate. But, there's another thing that's kind of interesting about this whole point. Quantum TV thinks that it's really integral to his correctness that Mischief is in the wrong, proven by the fact that he removed his own video. Keep that in mind, that removing someone's own video is apparently a sign that they recognize they're in the wrong. That just might come in handy later to know.
Like, for fuck's sake, he pulled his own video. Deleted by user. You tell me what that shit means.
What is it? You want me to tell you? Well, here's the thing. I don't know. You seem very confident in what it is, and the clear implication that you're telling us here is that Mischief recognizes he's wrong, and he understands that you're clearly correct, because after all, he pulled his own video down. If ever there was a more certain sign of defeat, this must be it, or at least that's how you treat it, because you're giving so much emphasis on this point. So I'm going to give you a little bit of advice here, Quantum, and it's very, very simple. So simple that even you can understand it. If you are going to say that you are correct and the other person is wrong because they took down their own videos, then maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't be the most sagacious maneuver for you to remove videos of your own. I paraphrased on the text, but your actual titles were Elden Ring Review, no spoilers, no BS version, Part 1, deleted. Why I Quit Elden Ring and Its Gaming Community, Elden Ring Review, Part 2, It's Gone. The video that I'm currently responding to, Elden Ring players cry wolf when told not to steal other creators' videos, here's why. Sayonara, sunshine, it's gone too. Elden Ring is catfishing new players. Comments like this ruin the Dark Soul, blah blah blah, that's deleted. And, of course, let's not forget The Batman, no spoiler, no BS review. Well, it must have flown away because it's gone. And what relevance does a Batman review have here? Oh, ho, ho, gentle dear viewer, we'll see that later. So, Quantum, let me ask you in your words. You tell me what that shit means. What does it mean when someone, shall we say, buckles under the pressure and starts removing their videos? Because I don't know. You seem to be the expert. So you tell me what that shit means.
I got all these fuckers calling me out of my name. I'm a scumbag. I'm this, that, and the third, right? I'm the bad guy here.
Yeah, you are the bad guy here. Yes, that is correct.
For telling some small punk that wants to steal from other people.
Not stealing, but that's fine. It's whatever. Go ahead.
And just shit on them. Just absolutely shit on everything they're working for and working on with their channel.
He did. What a bizarre thing to say. He did not shit on everything that you're working for. I legitimately have no idea what you mean by that. You made a bad game review and he responded to it. I'd calm down. I don't know. That's what's wrong with you.
And literally just look at them in the face and say, you know what? I'm going to rip you off.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what to say. This feels like a video that's like 10 years out of time, where you haven't caught up to the rest of the world and the rest of YouTube when it comes to the basic response video format that people have been doing for God knows how long. You feel upset that someone used your footage, and I guess you feel like you have a level of ownership over that footage that you simply don't have legally and principally. And I'm sorry that you feel that way, but you're going to have to grow up and get with the program because, wow, this video, this one backfired quite a bit.
I'm literally going to rip you off.
No, stop. Quit doing that. That's not what this word means. Quit saying that word. You do this all the time. You know, I'm in your Discord. You know, there's like a link on your page and everything. So I joined your Discord because I wanted to see what goes on in a place like that. Mostly people just talk about TV stuff. But it's always curious to see the kind of people who can look at someone like you with like, any level of reverence. I don't know. It takes a special kind. Quantum, you're absolutely goated. Keep teaching these kids to not steal other people's work. Commentary channels need to all be deleted. They're all just fucking idiots babbling over someone else's videos. Anyway, you posted this, right? It's so fucked. People be like, nobody is copying you, as literally everybody copies my thumbnail style. And then you posted these two pictures. Now, we're going to get into this later. You have a really big sense of self-importance, right? And I thought, you know what? If these two images side by side, yeah, they do look really similar. And because this seems to be a one-time thing that I couldn't see any repeats of, there must be a reason why. Whenever reviewers compare one television to another television, they're generally going to have both of the TVs or the TV's images in the thumbnail, one on the left, one on the right with their names up top. This is super standard and it's totally intuitive and you can't claim ownership over that. Now let's take a look at why these colors and images were chosen specifically. Well, the LG C2 TV on the left seems to use most prominently as a promo image this bright pattern. The LG C1 on the right-hand side tends to use as its promo image primarily this with the bright tree and the night sky. It makes total sense that behind each of these televisions, to distinguish each other's backgrounds from each other, you use colors that are complementary to that image, which, in his case, was green and a purple, and in your case, was that pattern and another purple shade. It just makes sense. It's easy on the eyes. It fits with the image. Both of your thumbnails are similar, absolutely. But did you ever stop and think there might be a reason for it? No, you didn't. You just saw that they were visually similar and said, literally everybody's copying me. But let's go back a bit. Let's see if literally everybody is copying your thumbnail style, because this one seems to be incidental and a one-off. And before people start chiming in, as I know some people probably will, this isn't really super about his misuse of the word literally, which he does often. He tells to his fans in his Discord, I hate copycats. These dudes stay stealing my thumbnail style. He found 2 images that were similar, and he extrapolated that into literally everybody is copying my style. Aren't I so incredible that people are just wanting to copy me? Because I'm that great. That is the sentiment that I'm examining here, and it'll come up later in this video. It will be relevant. It's an insight into the mind of Quantum TV, the #1 brand in honesty. The first thing we need to do, of course, to check on that is to see what is your thumbnail style. So I went and I looked. And I couldn't help but notice that, you don't really have a video thumbnail style. You're kind of all over the place, which is fine. I bet most people don't have a consistent style of thumbnail. The closest thing I could say for you is that you have white and yellow text. Sometimes you're in them making a face or something. I don't know, but you don't really have a style to copy. On my second channel, Dog Bites, I have a style. On, the EFAP thumbnails for our podcast, Every Frame a Pause. Those are some nice looking thumbnails right there. So, yeah, you don't really have a style to copy. But you said literally everybody was ripping off your thumbnail style, so I went looking a little further. And not gonna lie, I'm a little unconvinced. I went and checked out a lot of TV reviewer channels, and I went to their videos and I looked at their thumbnails, and practically all of them had, well, I guess they had the same style as you did in the sense of they don't have a style, but I don't really know if that counts. Listen, none of this has anything to do with the video. I got sidetracked, and now I'm looking at thumbnails for channels I don't care about TV reviews that I don't care about. The point is, not literally, no, stop using that word. Stop it. Bad.
And you're not going to do anything because I'm going to occasionally talk.
He cut up your video and interspersed it with his own commentary and critique and his own footage. His video response to you is about 3 times the length of your original video anyway. So, I mean, you're the one who occasionally talks in that one. That format is enough to make a video transformative. And if you don't like it, I don't know, man. That seems to be the law. That seems to be the precedent. That seems to be what everyone else has been operating on for the last Lord knows how many years. Get with the program.
Like, that's stupid. Like, you think that that's fair use, and it's not.
Literally is, but that's okay.
Like, listen.
Yeah?
Fair use is the most abused shit. And let me put this out there for any creator, period.
If you're a creator, period, don't listen to this guy, ever.
When you start talking fair use, you are opening a legal battle because you're telling the copyright owner, fuck you, I can do what I want.
That's such a terrible way to phrase it. It's got all this baggage in the words you're using, and it's just so uncharitable. Fair use doesn't require the permission of the copyright holder for you to make criticism, commentary, or critique of their work. You don't have to get their permission to do it. You can if you want. If you want to show a gesture of good faith and be like, hey, I'm going to take your stuff and I'm going to change it and I'm going to make a review about it, just letting you know. You can if you want, but you don't need to. The way that you say this, though, it makes it sound like you, by default, thinks that why can't I speak? I've lost the ability to speak. You make it seem like, by default, you think someone using fair use as a defense is a malicious act.
You're opening up a legal can of worms. You're literally saying, fuck your brand, fuck your image, fuck what you can do. I can do what I want with your content, with or without your permission.
Yeah, you're just bitter. But the main thing is, I don't just get to do whatever I want with your brand, your whatever, your logos. What I want to do And what I can do, those things can intersect, but not necessarily. They do here in this video that I'm making. They did with Mischief's response to you. But yeah, in United States copyright law, it specifically says that I don't need your permission to use your copyrighted material as long as I follow the guidelines of fair use. So I don't know what else to tell you.
Not realizing there are guidelines. Learn the 4 factors of fair use. Consider them heavily. Stop just saying,
Wait, hold up, stop, go back. What is this? What is this image? What is this JPEG bullshit here? Come on, what is this amateur garbage? Did you get this off some PowerPoint? How come it's cropped like this? What is this image originally? Let's look for it. All right, let's see. The amount and substantiality of the portion taken. All right, what do we got? Let's just go to images so I can... Oh, there it is. Boom. That was... Jeez, you did a... God, why did you crop it like this? You had to do more work. I know how videos work, right? You had to do more work to make it cropped as badly as you did than if you just would have thrown it onto your video. Whatever. Here it is. Copyrighted Babston from libguides.babson.edu. The 4 factors of fair use. Fair use is a... it's not even okay. Fair use is a legal doctrine embedded in the copyright law that allows for the use of copyrighted material without permission for educational and certain other stated purposes. See, you didn't even read. You didn't even read where you got this image from. What is the size of this image? 510 by 512. Jeez, come on. This is your... Have some pride in your work. Every situation must be weighed separately depending on the circumstances and context. No one factor is the deciding factor. They must be considered as a whole. You didn't even read the thing that you're using. Jeez.
stop just saying shit's fair use because you feel like because you talked on somebody's video that gives you the right to their content. It doesn't.
No, again, you really don't get it. It doesn't give them a right to your content. It gives them a right to transform your content. What Mischief did with your video, it's his now. He made his own video that he has the rights to. And hey, let's take that first part and let's flip it around. Stop just saying shit's not fair use because you got ass mad someone used your stuff.
There are so many ways that a fair use case can fall to fucking pieces, but the number one way is piracy.
Not sure why we're talking... Oh, you think what he did is piracy. Oh, that's cute.
You're literally going on YouTube, stealing their videos, and re-uploading them?
Oh, quit it. That's not what people mean when they say re-uploaded someone else's content. He made a completely transformative video of his own that's multiple times longer than your original work is. It's not what re-uploaded means. Just calm down.
That's a good way to fucking screw yourself and your channel. And I tried to be the nice guy and explain this to this kid.
God, it's one thing to say that, no, I'm not the bad guy here. I'm not the bully. And it's another thing to say, oh, I'm actually the good guy here. I'm the nice guy. I'm doing the right thing. I am so magnanimous, aren't I not?
I tried to give him the error of his ways, but a typical Elden Ring fan.
The fact that you still think this is about Elden Ring, God, you're thick.
Can't hear reason. Instead, they argue, and they go back and forth.
I don't have anything to do with Elden Ring. I don't give a shit about Elden Ring. It just sounds like you're a dick.
About why you should play the game, why you're wrong, all this shit.
You should have called your video that.
Nobody cares. It's a fucking video game, man.
No one cares, except for me. Not me. Definitely not me, even though I deleted both parts of my review, and I deleted this video and other videos, and I still make videos about other people who talk about me, but no one cares. Nobody cares, especially not me. I care the least.
I don't like it. I will never like it. There's nothing you can say to make me want to die 1,000,001 fucking times, go grind for runes, die, lose everything I worked for within however many hours I was playing the game for runes, because you get respawned to a point where you die again, okay, because you're not skilled enough to be able to kill off the people that just killed you.
Wow, cool. I don't care.
And if the enemies repopulate, guess what happens to your runes?
Oh, I don't know. What happens to your runes, Quantum?
If you die twice, you lose them all. But see...
Oh, well, that sounds bad. Try to avoid being in that I tried to say scenario and situation, and so I said situate. I am so sorry, Quantum. It was my incidental misspeak was just more insightful and interesting than your video. What was that? What were you saying?
These are the little things with the games, not even accounting for the graphics, which I docked because it's Xbox Series X.
What is this? Or is this like Elden Ring review part 3 now? What's going on here? This is not relevant.
PS5 generation, and these are not massive upgrades.
Hearing this, it takes me back to the good old days. Consoles versus PC. It's totally worth playing at 24 FPS if I can see this pebble, but PCs are too hard for me. Oh, man, the nostalgia. That's palpable.
And when you talk about all of these things added up, and then cherry on the cake.
Oh, my goodness, I'm so excited to learn what the cherry on the cake is. You know, I've never been a fan of cherries. Never really cared for them. It's kind of like coffee. So with coffee, I don't like to drink coffee. I think it's nasty. But I love the smell of coffee. Watermelons, I like the flavor, like generally artificial flavor of watermelons. But I never liked actually eating watermelons. With cherries, it's just a no-go. I just was never into cherry. Bananas, I never liked bananas. Not the flavor, not the actual bananas themselves. It's not like repulsive. Never cared for banana. I don't even know why I'm telling you this.
The player mentality. Get good.
I don't know, man. It does sound like you need to improve and practice and acquire more skill at this video game, shall we say.
Nobody needs you. I've got people calling me a fucking spook, okay? Like, because I'm what? I'm not a fan of a game that prides itself on being so hard that it thinks it's some sort of elite community of player.
No, it's because they want to get a reaction out of you. They just want to make you upset. It's just, is this your first week on the internet? Grow up. Jeez. I mean, these games are difficult. They're known for being difficult. They're infamous/famous for being difficult. That's their thing. And if you buy a game that's known for its difficulty, and then you go on the internet and you bitch and whine and complain that, it needs an easy mode, and this is so bad, and I hate it, and it's hard, then people are going to say that you need to acquire skill. Duh, of course they're going to say that.
Like, it's imaginary anti-gamer bullshit.
Why did you say imaginary? What are you referring to? The comments? You showed them. They're real. I thought that was your whole point, is that they were real. Therefore, not imaginary. Also, damn, say it, don't spray it, my dude. This is why you should probably edit your videos, not just sit in front of a webcam and talk, so you don't go around spitting. Or maybe that's your brand, I don't know. Quantum TV. He's not just spitting facts. He's spitting spit.
And FromSoft did this. They created a community that is so ridiculously, pathetically toxic about video games.
Oh, yeah, of course. You see, if From Software made a video game that was really easy, then you would have beaten it, and you wouldn't have complained that it's too difficult, so people wouldn't have told you to get better at the game when you complained about it being too difficult. Of course, it all makes sense. It all makes sense.
Let me tell you, I'm not somebody that just lives on something like Mario or like, Animal Crossing. I can play really competitive games like Injustice and get rage quits, okay?
Okay.
As I've done. I've done it on fucking TVs not even meant to do that, okay?
Oh my goodness, on a TV that wasn't even made for it. Wow, that's so... Oh my goodness. Wow. How about that? Oh my goodness. And I must admit, I think it's really cute that you have this message pop up, that there's a link in the description to just prove how good you are at making someone rage quit in Injustice. Oh, look at you. You just want to pat your head and say, good job.
It's not about skill. It's about a desire to want to torture yourself or waste whatever time you have with your family on dumb shit.
You think that just because you can make people rage quit in Injustice on a TV that wasn't even designed to make people rage quit on Injustice means that you should automatically be really good at Elden Ring?
And this logic that you guys are listening to one side of the story. You hear this little YouTuber with 4,000 subscribers tell you...
if you're really concerned about people only getting one side of the story, then that should be more reason for you to say, yeah, I want them to use my video, so it's more difficult for them to omit information or take things out of context.
I'm being bullied by the bigger guy. I'm not even that fucking big.
At the time, he had like 4,000 subs, and you had, like 64,000, 65,000? That's a massive difference in size.
Look at the situation. Do you really think a TV reviewer that primarily reviews TVs is going to go out of his way to pick on some fucking channel he's never even heard about, Okay? Until he found out that that person is stealing his content.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is ridiculous shit. It is childish in its highest form, but this is the Elden Ring community.
This isn't an Elden Ring community thing. You're just being a dick.
And I swear to God, if I live to be 1,000 years old even, I will never, ever support, buy, endorse any Elden Ring or FromSoft product because it's trash.
You made a 2-part review, arguably 3-part review of this game where you tried to argue that it was trash. But then you deleted all those parts, so you tell me what that shit means.
These are the kind of people it promotes. It promotes the people that think, like, you know what? I think it's funny. Let's grab his thumbnail. Let's put a bunch of shit all over it. Let's clown him up. Let's fuck up the thumbnail. Let's fuck up the footage and lie.
I'm legitimately having trouble following this. Having a difficult video game promotes people altering your thumbnail and transforming your video when they respond to it? Is that what you're... I'm legitimately confused. Do you think people do this all the time? It has nothing to do with Elden Ring. What is wrong with you?
And say like so much shit out of context.
Something that would be far more difficult to do if they used your own footage, but whatever.
Never ever listening to the full review, which is like 3 fucking parts. God forbid they make it through the parts where I'm trying to explain what it's like as a new player. They don't care.
What do you mean? Of course they watched it. They made response videos to it. They used your own footage to make sure that they had the context and respond to the things that you said. I thought that was the whole point of your bitchin'.
The thing is, you said something they don't like against something that they like, and oh boy, they're gonna attack you and really try to bully you and push you into a corner.
What? No, that's not They said your video was the big dumb stupid, and that's not bullying. They just said your video is crap. You going to much smaller channels and fraudulently threatening them with copyright strikes, that shit is bullying.
I can't be bullied. Let me be very clear. I cannot be bullied. I don't give a fuck about your feelings about me not liking Elden Ring. I'm not going to play this shit.
You give many fucks. You give more fucks than anyone else. You clearly are bothered by this. You are clearly bitter and upset. You keep going on and on about it and accusing people of all kinds of things, and then you go back and you delete your old videos because you can't be bullied because you don't give a fuck, I guess. No one believes you. You're a liar.
But what we're not going to do, right? We're not going to sit here and have people that like blatantly rip your shit off, right? And delete their own videos, okay? Because he deleted his own shit.
Ouch, that's not a good look, Quantum. Ooh, that's that. Ugh.
And then look at me and then spread a rumor all over the internet that Quantum issues false copyright strikes and false takedowns.
Well, yeah. You are a prolific YouTube commenter, I have noticed. You write a lot of comments on YouTube. And now I don't know, maybe you don't know this, but you realize that when you post comments on YouTube videos, right? You know that we can see those. Like we can go, all of us, we could go and we could look at those things. It's not just you. We can all see those. Those are public. I mean, you say it right here. Failure to remove the stolen content will result in a takedown. Yeah, that's not a rumor. You said it.
I told him I would take the video down and reached out to him to try to prevent that. And in the end, he deleted his own video.
Oh, no, that looks awkward. So I guess I just don't know what you're upset at. Are you upset that people gave what seems to be a very accurate recollection of the events that transpired? I don't know. What
does that tell you?
I don't know. I'm having trouble understanding what you're telling me. Scripts and editing, man, they help. They really do.
If he was in the right, do you really think he'd delete his own shit?
Oh, man, I don't know, Quantum. I just feel like if you say something as stupid as this, you probably shouldn't, after the fact, delete all your own videos, because that makes you look like a fucking idiot, doesn't it? Oh, man, you should... Oh, oof.
He knew he did something wrong here.
That's not what he told me, and I don't think he told anybody else, and he seems to be arguing against you pretty vehemently in the comment section on YouTube, which, again, we can all see that. And honestly, he seems to be in the opposite position of you. He re-uploaded his video. It's a pretty shrewd move with some extra context, and he recently stated on Twitter that it is his most viewed video ever. And while I was making this video, Mischief, his channel, he's at like 78,000 subscribers now. He's grown 15, 16 times over. Mischief is bigger than you. you took a channel that was at like 4,000 or 5,000 subs and were able to, in like a month's time, get him bigger than you ever have been. That's legitimately one of the most amazing self-owns I have ever seen on YouTube. Congratulations. That's impressive.
But it's the lack of responsibility.
Yeah, and responsibility begins with you knowing what the law is before you try and invoke it.
And that's the part that pisses me off the most, is that you have all of these YouTubers running with this one story.
Yeah, but the story does seem to be pretty accurate, though, you know?
Small little guy bullied by the bigger guy that isn't even that big.
I mean, it's not even really, like, the important part, but come on, but in terms of sub count, you are way bigger than he was.
And it blows my fucking mind. So my message to you guys is this.
Oh, hold on, let me get my notepad. I don't want to miss these gems.
If someone's saying something and they're crying victim, maybe fact check their story first.
Yeah, we did. That's why so many people on the internet hate you right now. But, you know, if there's some misinformation out there, if there's some lie being spread, I would love to know what it is, man.
Because he's saying that I copyright struck him.
Huh. So what I did was I decided I would take some of your advice. I decided to fact check the story, specifically your story, specifically what you just said here.
He's saying that I copyright struck him.
So I went looking. What exactly did Mischief actually say you did? What I found is that Mischief seems to be pretty consistent in the claims that he makes. Both before you made this video, Quantum, and after, Mischief seems to, by my knowledge, exclusively refer to actions you've taken against him as threats. You are threatening to take down the video with a false copyright strike, which is the logical thing to think. That hypothetical strike is the method through which you'll need to use in order to make Mischief's video go away, which is what you want. In no way do I think that based on everything you've said, and holy crap, you've said a lot, that you would have been complacent with his video being public and viewable. Even if it made you money, not that it would likely be a lot, it's tough to pull in a substantive amount of money on YouTube as a small channel. Even in his video response to this video we're watching now, Mischief was pretty clear they were threats.
A lot of you are probably wondering what the hell happened. Well, a channel with 64,000 subscribers decided to harass me with threats of a copyright strike against my channel because I called out their Elden Ring review, in which they consistently got things factually incorrect. After I called a certain one of these channels out, aka Quantum TV, they deleted said review because I was blatantly correct, and then proceeded to threaten me with an illegal copyright takedown of my video, calling them out for their bullshit.
Your call to have us fact-check their story, it also got me to re-watch some of those Elden Ring reviews of yours, the ones you deleted.
You tell me what that shit means.
It's where I found out that you bought the game because you succumbed to hype and didn't do any level of basic research. But also, you said something so stupid, so foolish, so out of touch. Just have a listen for yourself.
A game that's not for everyone isn't a game that should be made, in my opinion.
What's that?
A game that's not for everyone isn't a game that should be made, in my opinion.
One more time. It needs to sink in.
A game that's not for everyone isn't a game that should be made, in my opinion.
I'm no stranger to the internet, certainly not to the gaming side of things. In my years making these videos and podcasting and browsing and perusing, I legitimately don't know if I've heard anything worse than this. Maybe I have, I can't recall, but this has got to be top 3, easy. The statement here, it isn't just bad on its own. You have to think a little deeper. Imagine the kind of person who claims to be connected into the gaming space to this degree who can still even make this statement, one that he's doubled down on. Imagine the personality that is required beneath such a comment and the context in which it was spawned. This Quantum TV guy said this because he was upset at a video game. He felt like he deserved to win. He felt like he was owed an easy victory without setbacks. Difficulty, challenges, the need to practice, and the desire to improve and better oneself, those are foreign concepts to Quantum TV. He thinks that the solution to this problem lies outside of himself. It is not a problem with his level of skill or his willingness to engage in a process of learning. It is the game's fault. It is somebody else's fault. He must win. even if the price of that is to tear down what makes these games so well known and beloved. They must change to suit his skill, his tastes, his abilities. It is not up to him to improve. It is the responsibility of others to lower themselves down to his level. And not just Elden Ring. Any game. Even the most charitable interpretation of what he said is still horrifically stupid and selfish. I'm certain that when he said this, he never thought that it would come across as such an embarrassing and humiliating view into the mind of a truly pathetic gamer. What makes video games special compared to all other forms of media is that you are not simply granted all of the content. You buy a series of challenges, and you must either pass them or improve if you want to proceed. Or you set your own challenges. You set your own goals. A movie or a theater play, these things go on even without an audience. Even a book is a story without a reader. They are at different levels in terms of being passive media. Games are special because they require you, the gamer, to engage with them in specific ways, to control an avatar, to move pieces on a board, etc. What Quantum TV says should be the case would result, quite simply, in the eradication of practically all video games. The Injustice game that he spoke of earlier, does he think that game is made for everyone? Maybe he does, in which case the problems with his thought processes are only bizarre in different ways. There are people out there who see your beloved hobby and pastimes as a tool to be used for their personal purposes. They want to take things they don't like and warp them into something else. They want to take games and stories and pollute them into something different than what gave them their appeal in the first place. Quantum TV is one of those people, and it only took one video game for him to get upset and let us know what he truly thinks. He is another example of why you need to gatekeep the fuck out of the things that you enjoy. If you do not safeguard them, you will lose them. In every sense of the word, these people are invaders. Quantum TV is... he says a lot. He is a very prolific YouTube commenter. I would be giving him the benefit of the doubt if I said that he spoke without thinking. Let's put it that way. He has said a lot of stupid stuff. Not just in this video, but across all of the videos that he's made, be they deleted or otherwise. And I think that by far this is the dumbest thing that he's ever said. This is the worst thing that he has ever said. And I don't need to go into further detail explaining just why this is a horrifically bad attitude to have for the industry and to other gamers. Especially when it's done thinking that you're doing it for the sake of other gamers, when really, let's be frank, you're doing it because you got upset and you can't handle that. Which I believe is the case because that's why you got involved in all this in the first place. You saw somebody else making a response video to you, and you got upset, and you didn't know how to handle it. So you lashed out at other people before you looked inside. What was he talking about? I legit lost my... What?
Show me the copyright strike. I dare you. I double dog dare you, because you deleted your own video.
But you see, the difference here is that Mischief deleted his video so that he could re-upload it with extra content shortly afterwards. You deleted 4, 5 videos? Something like that? I'm losing track of all these deleted videos, Quantum. I can't keep the number straight.
You tell me what that shit means.
And I can't be fucked to find every URL and every thumbnail image to the videos that you deleted. I just can't be asked to do it. And I don't need to. The point's already been proven.
Fact. Nobody has any tangible proof that Quantum did anything, but I got proof showing you that I didn't.
Throughout this video, in fact I did it a moment ago, I've been elaborating on why you say Mischief is in the wrong and you're in the right because Mischief deleted his video. You've really been holding hard to this. And yet, afterwards, you have no problem deleting many of your own videos, which makes you look like a hypocrite and a bit of a fool. Okay? That's fun. We all have our laughs. Life's lovely. This is going to be something similar to that, so I need you to pay attention. This will come in handy for later.
Nobody has any tangible proof that Quantum did anything, but I got proof showing you that I didn't.
Now, all right, I want you to bear with me because this is probably going to be a little embarrassing. Not for me, for you. The reason that we have tangible proof that you did something is because of you, Quantum. You posted this just a second ago. This ugly-ass screenshot. And I understand you've got shit-tier editing skills and have no pride in your work whatsoever, but I know what that screenshot is. A lot of people might not. So this is what an actual proper screenshot looks like. It has some really cool features like it's cropped properly and it has more than 17 pixels. I used mine as an example, right? This is under the copyright section of your YouTube studio under the removal requests tab. Whenever you request the removal of somebody else's video, it goes in here. The only way that anything can be underneath this tab is when you request somebody else essentially take down their video. Now, as you can see, I have done this before, and rightfully so. I actually use the system properly. Many years ago, some people, or maybe it was a bot, I'm not sure, it's not important, was just re-uploading my videos, but actually re-uploading them, just like the whole thing. They would just make a channel, plop my videos up, and then leave it, and then the content ID matcher thingy said, hey, your video is being used somewhere else. And so then I went and issued a copyright takedown request claim, whatever it was. That was years and years and years ago. Now, by posting what we're going to call generously your screenshot, you've shown that you did take an action. You did submit a request for a takedown or a copyright claim. You posted the proof that you did something, and then immediately after, you said, no one's got proof that I did it. Motherfucker, you just shot yourself in the foot. But there's even more. In one of your Elden Ring video review parts, which you deleted,
You tell me what that shit means.
you have a still that says my actual complaint versus out of context screenshots, and you say why you filed the original takedown notice. Moments later, in that very same video, what do you say?
Let me say that again. All the negative press you've seen on me is because I reviewed a game once, didn't like it, some 16-year-old kid picked it up, lied that I false copyright struck him when A, I tried to reach out to him and try to explain the situation and tell him, hey, you're not being fair about it. B, I even was telling him I'm willing to work with you. I retracted my copyright claim, like way before this even blew up, to the point that it kind of has, I guess, if you can call this blowing up. I don't know.
You show the confirmation email from YouTube that you have retracted the copyright claim. But fuck it, why stop there? The original, first ever comment that you make to Mischief, you explicitly say, I have already formally filed against you.
Nobody has any tangible proof that Quantum did anything. Nobody has any tangible proof that Quantum did anything. Nobody has any tangible proof that Quantum did anything. Nobody has any tangible proof that Quantum did anything. Nobody has any tangible proof that Quantum did anything.
Oh, that last one? Yeah, that's an actual comment that he wrote on YouTube. Let's read it together. Started getting a string of random hate comments and held for review, and it took all of 2 seconds to figure out you were behind it again. Here you are talking about me again. Like seriously, dude, move on already. I had multiple accounts and devices hacked in 2018. That doesn't just stop at Twitter. Actually look up what the word multiple means. Anything you find during the 2018 hack timeliness is immediately useless. Any post my moderator made is useless. I've already told you this. You think you know something, and you really don't know anything about it at all. Google and my other email/service providers have this well documented. I get hacked. It's unfortunately a thing your kind does. Again, it's none of your business how much of my life got hacked, so mind your business. Using posts from compromised accounts won't get me banned. Again, I tell the proper folks when I get hacked. My advice, stick to your chief complaint, my Elden Ring review, which, FYI, still remains my view of the game. As for claims of me purging comments, I hold all negative comments for review by using the strict filter option. I don't ever have to do anything more, LMAO. YouTube does it for me. I only see your nasty comments when I choose to check them. YouTube even blocks the most offensive ones with a show offensive label to click on. I get you probably don't know how YouTube actually works, but maybe do studio creator research before running with wild stories. I'm no false flagger. I didn't even know who you were until you got copyright ID flagged for using a certain percentage of my original video, so clicked the remove video option. I was nice enough to give you a heads up to take it down before it gave you the strike. My mistake. I should have just let YouTube's ID tool strike you with their auto timestamps, let you whine to them about fair use, and move on. Nice guys finish last, right? You deleted your first video. I retracted. That should have been the end, but instead you're ran to everyone who does your toxic style of content, then re-uploaded after getting courage. If another video of yours gets ID flagged, I won't even bother warning you next time. You did all this BS to make me the villain after you got literally no strikes, because you don't understand the copyright ID tool? If that's the case, you've got a lot of hard lessons to learn on YouTube, if you plan on sticking around. Lol, by the way, when I showed the cropped ID tool, I was protecting myself from you aligning with those creators. Can't befriend them if you don't know them. I can tell you're some little extremist that enjoys picking fight with everyone you can, then play the minor car when you get too much heat. Cringe emoji. You can't hide your behavior behind that minor card forever, and in some cases it will become void entirely, so be careful with how far you take it, because you absolutely cross lines that you shouldn't. Far as Elden Ring goes, it's really simple. Elden Ring and 99% of its player base are trash like you. The sort that thinks anyone who dislikes the game has to pay for their crimes of not giving you an echo chamber. If you want to die 1,000 times for a false sense of accomplishment, go kill yourself. I'm not about to die endlessly, grinding just to always feel weak. Play your stupid player-humbling death loop. I refuse. Many people feel the same. Funny how we can move on to other things, but here you are still whining about our opinions on the game. I'm literally back here because you can't move on. Take a hint. Nobody cares except your kind of toxic gamer. It's a game, and no amount of trying to dig into my hacked accounts or personal life will change the fact that Elden Ring is trash. Trying to paint me as whatever is convenient to you, simply out of retaliation for your copyright blunder, literally failed. I'm still growing my AV channel and living my normal life in spite of this nonsense you started for literally no reason. You act like I kicked your puppy or took your girl. Lol. Grow up. Get a grip. Back to the game, your beloved devs use difficulty to hide their laziness. A game that can't be considered good with a difficulty toggle is a game that has no business being made without one. I stand by that. If the game is considered ruined simply by adding an easy mode, it means it would be a short and pointless game. When all you have is grinding levels to build the right class up, in some attempt to make the game easier, lol, God bless you. Way to prove my point. Hundreds of hours later, and you finally got the dopamine release you desperately sought after. You are someone with no life responsibilities, just like I said. People with family and friends who would rather sink hundreds of hours into their loved ones. If you don't get that, it's because you're the loser I'm describing. Touch grass. Not everyone is going to like Elden Ring, and that's okay too. Again, get a grip. It's just a game. Nobody owes you anything. And you're nobody to be trying to single-handedly shame all players with a negative view of Elden Ring. We have our opinions, you have yours. Get over yourself soon. Flowers. Remember, this person is not mad.
So answer me this. When I've done nothing wrong, right? Bully, right? Bully. There's bully here, right?
Right, yes.
Falsely using the copyright system? Really? To defend my own shit?
Yes, again, yes, correct.
This is the shit I gotta deal with the gaming community?
Yes, it is. This is, yes.
I swear, this is why people don't like you fuckers.
Well, as ironic as that is, are you referring to the general gaming community of the internet? And what people are you referring to who don't like us fuckers? Is it people like you? If it's people like you, then I'm totally fine with that. You can fuck right off. I don't give a shit. We don't want you. Go away, you loser.
Because this is all you want. You want online only and co-op and to be racist online with your friends and to fucking say all the horrible shit you would never say in person to somebody. That's you.
Hey, now you take that back. I do not want every game to be co-op and always online.
Right. And you know what?
What do I know? Well, I know that in your review of The Batman, which you have deleted...
You tell me what that shit means.
You called actress Zoe Kravitz a half-breed.
One of the moments that were really annoying for me is like you had Selena Kyle, which is Lenny Kravitz's daughter, like a half-breed, basically.
So, yeah, not all that interested in your opinions on racism on the internet?
You get what you get in this world, but at the end of the day, leave me out of it, okay? I don't give a shit about your little pathetic, sweaty palm, fucking, elite club of gamers that do the same shit every day and die. I don't care.
Alright, well, first off, terrible impression. Second off, you clearly care. You care a lot. You care so much. It is not possible for me to describe just how much you care. Did you see the comments? Did you see, you know people who don't care don't write a frickin' Encyclopedia Britannica under every video that mentions them?
I don't care, okay? Fuck off in your dark corner.
You literally have dark corners behind you.
Play Elden Ring until your fingers bust.
You busted our brains at this point. I doubt we'd even notice.
Until, you know what, you reach euphoria or whatever death you want to get, do your thing. But leave me out of it.
You can't be constantly injecting yourself into something and then say, just leave me out of it, I don't care.
And again, next time you say I did something, how about I actually do it before you say I did it?
Oh, I bet that felt really good to say, didn't it, when you were sitting in that chair with your dark corners behind you, staring into your whatever it was, your webcam? Oh, you felt good, didn't it? It felt good. Oh, it feels so good to be able to make those faces and say it when you believe you're right. Does it feel good? Did it feel good? Does it still feel good? Because you can put on the faces and all the expressions that you'd like, and you could talk as confidently as you can. Deep down, we know this bothers you immensely, and it should, because you've been a really shitty person to a lot of different people. I hope that when you said this, it felt really good. I hope it felt wonderful when you said this, because it has cost your reputation everything.
Food for thought.
Well, that's the end of the video. It's done. It's over. This is the end. We are in outro territory. How very exciting. Quantum is a strange man. He's an odd man. He has a lot of issues going on in his head. He's not particularly bright. He's certainly not a wise man. He's very, very foolish. I think he's quite the egotist. Now, I don't want to armchair psychomologicalize people on the internet particularly, but I do get sort of a feeling about people when you listen to them for enough time and you get their takes on a particular amount of topics, when you see the things that they type out, the thoughts they have, and the way that they process information. I think Quantum really is egotistical. He is self-absorbed. He thinks he is incredible. He thinks that he's got a bit of a persecution complex. He thinks the world is out to get him now. Everything is about him, and he cannot be in the wrong. Different from thinking he's correct. He thinks he cannot be wrong. He is horrifically misinformed about fair use and copyright and the environment on YouTube surrounding that, and he is going to get himself in a lot of hot water, not just from a social perspective, but from a legal one, from a terms of service one, if he decides to pursue these issues further. If I do revisit Quantum TV and his shenanigans for the lulls or for discussions, I'll probably be doing it on my second channel, Dog Bites. If you want to see more of me talking with my friends, then we have an excellent podcast called Every Frame a Pause, or EFAP. We stream on Saturdays and sometimes on Wednesdays, usually, to do our catch-ups. I would love to see you guys over there as well. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of cool things to talk about. I would, of course, appreciate any support that you throw my way. I'm sorry I haven't been making a lot of content on the main channel, but I do hope to change that soon. This video was much, much, much easier to get out in a relatively timely manner for me with how busy I can be, thanks to new art assets and things of that nature. So hopefully that will help keep me invigorated, because I really feel good having this video out. I feel productive. I feel like I can do it. I never got into that sort of slog as I typically can get into. I have like 4 projects that I have started and are well underway that I just haven't finished. And I need to get those wrapped up. I need to teach myself not to get in over my head with really long and extensive projects. That is not to say they won't happen, it just means that I'll try not to focus on doing that sort of thing, because I want to be able to have fun and enjoy myself and actually get things produced and finished and put up on YouTube for you guys. And, I suppose as a closing statement, Quantum, if you ever watch this video, which I highly doubt, and I doubly so doubt that you'll get this far if you even start, if you come after my video, if you try to copyright claim, if you try to take me down, it's not going to work. And I'm going to fight back. I'm not going to capitulate. And you're a fool to even try. You're a fool to go this far. But you seem the type. It takes a crazy person to bring things to these lengths. And unfortunately, I think that you sort of fit the bill. So we'll see what happens. Just know that you've been warned. This video isn't yours to take. It doesn't belong to you. It's mine. I know that you feel that the world revolves around you, and I know that you think very, very highly of yourself. You see, I do too. I think highly of myself as well, but I have a skill set to back it up. I've got at least enough of an intellect and knowledge to be able to say those sorts of things in confidence. And I have enough self-awareness to know that it's half a joke anyway. You are way in over your head, and you don't know who you're dealing with. For your sake, let it go. Drop it. Walk away. And if you don't heed these warnings, well, maybe my bite is worse than my bark. Who knows? Maybe you'll find out. Toodaloo, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you later.